A healthy lifestyle starts by offering oneself to a new set of learning that constitutes the holistic development of ideal lifestyle we are yearning. Good day everyone! I am Jerian Lucenda, your teacher/instructor for this session. Today we are going to discuss various topics of the domains of physical education from its history down to the learning and motor learning. In this session, it is expected that the students will attain the objectives to ensure the efficacy of learning acquisition during and after the discussion. These objectives are as follows. To achieve an in-depth understanding of the history of physical education as significant influences in today's curriculum. To master feelings of fervor and veneration in consolidating the information of domains in physical education into one's insight, and to reflect oneself in the stages of learning on its relevance to our daily acquisition of learning and motor learning. Before we start our discussion, I'm advising every student to prepare all of their writing materials, for it is expected that there will be questions rendered to test if the students were able to listen carefully in the information given, and to serve as their guide in the imminent oral recitations, quizzes, and examination. Without further ado, let our journey of learning begin. Today I'm going to discuss the history of PE in Egypt, Greece, and Rome. First, the Egypt. In ancient times, Egypt believed in life full of physical activities that sorted out young men to practice the utilization of weapons such as bow and arrow and shield in preparation for the military warfare. It is the fortification of the athletes also for the purpose of strengthening the aspect of their body and their skills, and the purpose of military also. There are several physical activities that being exercised by these men, and these are wrestling and swimming, of which swimming is the first recorded physical activity in Egypt. Second, the Greece. In Greece, the Olympic Games was launched in 776 BC, and every 4 years it is commenced. There were two city-states that stressed the importance of physical education, but in different intentions. The only relevance of these two city-states was the belief in gymnastics as a contribution to the discipline and the well-being of the youth. First, I'm going to discuss the city of Sparta. The main objective is to fortify the body and the skills for military purposes of the young men. At the age of 7, they are going to commit themselves in physical training under the supervision of Paidonamus. In this physical training, there is an educational program named Agoj that comprises several physical activities such as javelin, wrestling, boxing, horsemanship, discus, and etc. At the age of 20, an oath of allegiance will be conducted to commit themselves in actual combats to serve themselves in the imminent warfare until the age of 50. And the second city, Athens. Freedom is initiated. They associated the learning of physical education with philosophy, music, literature, sculpture, and painting. Athenian youths ages 6 attend the palastrate, which is a space for jumping and wrestling. Under the administration of the Paido tribe, which they trained the Athenian youths with the physical activities, exercise, and games. They also associated the gymnastic training, which is headed by the Gymnasiarch. There are 5 Greek philosophers in Athens who influenced the value of physical education. And these are Plato. Plato believed in the physical education as an enhancement of body, mind, and soul, specifically in the form of gymnastics, music in the curriculum. Aristotle. For Aristotle, physical activities and exercise benefit the youth of their development in body and soul. For Herodotus, it is an aid to medicine. For Hippocrates, he proclaimed the law of use and disuse of the body. And for Xenophon, it is for warfare. And lastly, the Rome. They believe that physical education is for the high maintenance of health, which makes the hygiene is the most important despite the vigorous activity, which also builds the thermi. The thermi is for the proliferation of public bathroom with provisions for exercise. Campus Martius was the replacement of the gymnasium after the conquest of Greece. First, it was for the military training and is a field where celebrations of military campaigns are being held. Later on, several buildings are constructed which becomes a place for entertainment, social events, monument, and etc. Spectacular gladiatorial combats were enjoyed by many as an entertainment between slaves and soldiers. It is being held in the Colosseum. Strict rules are firmly upheld as the fight befalls. Circus Maximus was an entertainment space for large scale of races such as the gladiatorial fights and the chariot races. Also the horse racing. It is also labeled as the largest stadium in the ancient Rome. There is this physician and surgeon named Claudius Galen, who's first to incorporate the medicine and the biomechanics into the science of exercise. And that is it for the history of PE in Greece, Rome, and Egypt. Now that I have tackled all the history of PE, now I'm going to discuss the development of PE in Greece, Sweden, USA, and Philippines. Let's begin. I'm going to discuss the development of PE in Germany. In Germany, there is this person named Johann Bernhard Basedow who established a school in Europe named Philanthropinum in 1774, where he proposed the incorporation of physical education as a part of the curriculum of the students. Several activities such as fencing, riding, dancing, and music was incorporated in this physical education. He advocates the learning as a habitual training that involves nature in performing physical activities. We have Johann Friedrich Gutsmuth, the real founder of PE, and was acclaimed as the grandfather of PE as he legitimized PE profession in promoting the wellness of people in building a greater nation. He also is the founder of the system of gymnastics and exercise that endow instructions, which being integrated in the school works and summer courses. He wrote 2 books, namely Gymnastics for the Young and Games. A person named Friedrich Wilhelm Froebel, who invented the kindergarten as a grade level in education. He also created the theory of play, which believes that students must have self-activity in school education to foster their self-actualization through play, individually or by group, for as long as they have the self-actualization in performing the physical education. A mechanism for stress reduction, character, and moral development is being comprised in this theory of play. Friedrich Ludwig Jahn, the father of gymnastics and the founder of the German Turner movement in the spring 1811. He believes that PE as a cornerstone of health and development and fortifying the character and identity of the youngster as these youngsters perform the program. He includes the numerous equipment such as parallel bars, rings, balance beam, and horizontal bar as the standard in performing gymnastic in the curriculum physical education. And lastly, Adolf Spice, who believes in the progressive learning of physical education from easy to the arduous level of physical activities. It is obligatory for all students to attain the program, he believes. And because he is into the progressive learning, he incorporated the marching exercises as an aid in class organization, discipline, and posture development. And now we're going to discuss the Sweden. Sweden has a person named Per Henrik Ling, the founder of the Swedish medical and pedagogical gymnastics. He deems that anatomy and physiology, a scientific approach, one can strongly understand the body and its demand. He establishes the Royal Central Institute of Gymnastics to prepare teachers in three categories: education, military, and medical, that will benefit learners, athletes, and educators in the program of physical education. His objectives were the holistic development of a man by the movement named medical gymnastics, the intricate understanding of the effects of this movement in human body, and the security of the country against aggressions. Also, they have this person named Lars Gabriel Branting, who emphasized the PE contributes to the muscular and nervous and circulatory system, and Hjalmar Fredrik Ling, who credited for the organization of educational gymnastics. And now for the USA. Physical education was established by the introduction of German gymnastics and the Tervuren Association, which builds the gymnasiums and athletic clubs as a significant on the formation of physical education. Back then, Bangataway, a form of lacrosse, was a popular indigenous game and often being surrounded by rituals to settle disputes between tribes and in preparing young warrior in warfare. A person named Tom Molyneux introduced boxing in the United States, and he is American who first well known as a pugilist, gained his freedom from slavery by fighting on the southern plantation circuit. These are the contributors in the development of physical education in the 20th century. Thomas Denison Wood, who introduced the natural gymnastics. Jesse Bancroft, who influenced the development of PE as a responsibility of homeroom teachers in the elementary schools. Clark Hetherington. He stresses the importance of children's play activities. And Jacob Rees, who has the symbolic in the playground movement in New York. And lastly, the Philippines. Philippines is well known for exercising the physical activities such as the weightlifting, boxing, basketball, and many more of these activity. There are also influences from Spanish regime of dancing such as fandangos, curachas, jotas of Spain, polkas, mazurkas, rigodon, and laceros of France. There were also games that being played by the Filipinos as a form of physical activity such as pabitin, palo sebo, juego de anillo, and dupio. Now we are going to talk about the learning and motor behavior of physical education. Learning is the process of changing our understanding and perception based and constituting to our experience and behaviors that leads to an individual to an improved behavior and perception, higher order thinking skills, and their performance. Whereas the motor behavior is the learning acquisition of the skills through various activities that involves movement. Congratulations! You have finished the discussion of physical education in this session. I am grateful to be your physical education teacher slash instructor for this session. I'm going to put the questions after these closing remarks on the screen so that I can identify if the students were able to grasp the information given by the teacher. To close this discussion or session, I am going to restate the quotes that I have said earlier, that a healthy lifestyle starts by offering oneself to a new set of learning that constitutes the holistic development of ideal lifestyle we are yearning. So always remember that learning makes us not perfect, but a better and improved individual. So, bye!